Building a strategy from scratch can be very difficult. A lot of people are not quite sure where to start, but we're going to help you out today because we brought in a special guest, Chris Shunk, who's actually going to be showing you how to build a strategy from scratch and then how to actually implement it into a systematic approach. Chris, take it away.
Hello, thank you Cobra Trading for having me on as part of your special guest series. My name is Chris Shunk and I'm a day trader with a systemic approach. Today I want to do something I haven't quite done before. I want to talk about the very first steps and how to get a strategy that you can then trade systematically. I started with gap up shorts. And I think it's one of the easiest strategies to explain to someone that wants to day trade with a systemic approach. So that's where we're going to start. The first thing you obviously need to do is get a bunch of market data because you're going to have to analyze market data to get your strategy. I use spikeeat.com. You can go on their website, get a subscription, and you can print out whatever market data you want for the last, I think, 10 or 20 years. I usually don't look at past 10 years. They have a big database. Once you get that data, you want to try to find your strategy. And let's say we're doing gap up shorts. Let's just start basic minimum 30%. Today's open is 30% above yesterday's close. So yesterday, say the stock closed at $1. Today, it's opening at $1.30. That's a 30% gap up. Now, you want to know if you have a good chance of trading it. So you look in your Excel sheet of data, every stock that is gapped up over 30%, and the simplest first thing you can do, if you short that stock at market open and you cover it at market close, and you do that every single time, will you be profitable after 20 to 30 trades? You, of course, need a risk. You need a stop. So let's just say, for example, you're going to use a 15% stop. You short the stock at open. If it goes up 15% against you, you get out. If it does whatever throughout the day, but doesn't hit that 15%, you're still in the stock and you cover at the end of day. If you do that every time, will you be profitable? I can tell you that most likely you won't be profitable. That would be a terrible strategy. Every stock that gaps up over 30% with a 15% stop, you will not be profitable in the long run. So you'll see that once you start analyzing your data. And now what you do is you try to make the play better. Maybe instead of the gap up being 30% minimum, maybe you make it 40 or 50 or 60% minimum. Maybe you eliminate all the very low float stocks, everything under 1 million float. Get rid of those. Now your play might start looking better. Maybe you get rid of all the really big market caps, billion-dollar market caps, and you're only working with small cap stocks. Now you might start looking better as well. Maybe instead of having a 15% risk, you have a 30, 40, 50% risk. Now your play might start looking better. Maybe instead of covering at the end of day, you cover it with a 20, 15, 20, 30% gain. I don't know. You have to find what strategy works for you. But so far, the strategy from what you first had, which is just a 30% gap, with a 15% stop covering at the end of day, now it's starting to look better. What if instead of shorting the stock at market open, you short it at a parabolic move that happens at some point in the day? So now we're saying the stock, say your minimum criteria is 50% for the gap up, but you still don't short it at open. You will short a stock at 50% that does some crazy parabolic move. Now that might start looking better. So that is the process you should start going through when you're analyzing your data to try to find a strategy. And then once you have something that looks really good on paper, let's say your criteria is the stock has to gap up 50%, it has to be under $1 billion market cap, it has to be over 1 million float, and then you don't even short it until it does some 10, 20, 30% squeeze in the middle of the day, and then you cover it at a 20, 30, 40% gain. And if you do that every time, will you be profitable? If you find that play, you are now a systemic trader, and your next job is to do that trade every single time it happens, because you're only going to get the odds that exist on your paper that says if you do this trade every time, you'll win 80% of the time. You're only going to get that 80% win rate if you do that same trade every time in the exact same way. And that's the next step. And for some people, that's one of the hardest parts about day trading. You can make a plan, you can find a good system trading strategy, but then you have to do it. For me, that's actually always been one of the easier parts. I think you just have to be disciplined. It's one of the hardest things to teach how to do it too. I don't know what to tell you. You just have to be able to have self-control. I used to do this thing last winter where I would go skiing in the middle of the day. Every day I was in a trade. I'd get in my trade, I'd put in stops, and I would have my phone with me to alert me in case the stock got close to my stop, and I would just make sure that my stop triggered properly. But I would go off in the middle of the day skiing. I had a time frame for entrances. I never entered a new trade in the middle of the day. I would close out at profit targets or towards the end of the day. So that's one thing you can do, is get in your trades and leave. You just have to practice discipline. It's hard, and I've seen people fail. I've seen people with an A+ strategy and they couldn't do it. It's very painful when you see your stock, say it's a short at market open strategy. You short it open, the stock tanks. You're up so much money, and then it comes back and reclaims and it blows out your stop. That happens to me all the time. But I have enough self-control at this point where I don't touch anything until it hits my stop or my profit target. Well, that's it for today. I hope that helps a little bit. You guys can follow my Twitter for some more information. And oftentimes I'll post a lot of my charts so you can see exactly how I'm trading. Thank you, Cobra. You guys are the best broker on the planet. I've been with them for over 3 years and I love working with them. And I hope you guys have a good day.
Thank you, Chris, for sharing that example using the gap up strategy. I know a lot of people here have found that very helpful. And if you have any questions at all, just go to cobratrading.com, click the live chat feature in the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll be happy to help you.